got a 34-12 two-day total. Josh Butler out of Hayden, Alabama. He's gone wire to wire so far. 5 in the bag. He needs 11-4 to take it home. If it's anything lighter, it's to Tucker, looking for 11-4. He's done it. 14 pounds and 4 ounces, and Josh Butler is going to be your champion. Punch his ticket to the 2025 Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Classic. Take home those top EQ points, and not to mention $43,405. Let's hear it as he grabs those fish. He's going to be your champion. 3-day total, 49 even. Out of Hayden, Alabama, it's Josh Butler. We'll talk for a second, then we'll make it official. Mark, if you want to grab that trophy. Like you said, 7-13 on day one. That's a big separator this week.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a game changer. They don't come around very often on this pond. You catch one like that, I mean, that's probably the difference to me winning or second or third. Who knows?
Yeah. Other keys this week, Josh. How'd you get it done?
Basically tail race, fishing current, trying to capitalize on the shad spawn first thing in the morning. Luckily, the first day that happened. This morning, I started right here, roughly had 9 or 10 pounds, weighed one of them in, but the majority of my fish this week came up in the tail race, fishing current seams, rocks for spawning bass, and just using a lot of history that I got with this place, and just trying to catch one at a time.
I have to ask you, you made a pretty big career change move earlier this year and rolled in with Bassmaster, and I got a feeling that Classic had a lot to do with it in the Elite Series. And guess what, my friend? You're headed to the Classic next year.
Oh. Lost for words. I mean, it's everything. It's what you dream of as a kid. I mean, that was one of the biggest reasons why I left MLF. You want to fish a Classic, and I can't do that fishing over there. So I'm ecstatic to be over here, and it still hasn't sunk in.
Well, it's about to get closer. We're going to have Mark from St. Croix Rod step up. We got some hardware to present to you in Lincoln, Alabama. I need you to do. Josh. Oh, sorry.
Well, there he is, Josh Butler, the champion at Logan Martin for the 4th stop of the St. Croix Bassmaster Opens. And Josh Butler gets it done on his home body of water, leading wire to wire. What a special place it is on the Coosa River, Logan Martin Lake in Lincoln, Alabama. And boy, it was a pleasure to cover the top 10 on the final day here. We had spotted bass, largemouth, down the lake, up the river, current dependent, and a shad spawn mixed in there as well. We saw some of our top competitors really challenge Josh Butler throughout the tournament. I'm joined by Buddy Gross and Kyle Jessie, and we think about guys like Kiyoya Fujita, Tucker Smith, and Emil Wagner. They challenged Josh Butler all day long on Championship Saturday.
What a playing field for the St. Croix Bassmaster Open here at Logan Martin Lake. Obviously, we saw guys down lake doing a little bit of what you're seeing Emil Wagner do here, fishing offshore, fishing for those fish that are coming from spawning areas out towards the main river. Like you said, really challenged Josh Butler. We saw a midday lull, and it seemed like the guys that were down lake were really making a push to contend for the win.
Yeah, Emil Wagner, we got to see a couple views from above with the drone, below with his electronics, and in the boat with Emil Wagner all day long. We can understand why he is so good at places like Lake Lanier, spotted bass. And Emil Wagner showed it this week after a tough Santee Cooper event, Buddy Gross. He had a bounce-back week. Top 10 is always a great way to gain some points.
Yeah, he made the spotted bass lake look really, it was in his wheelhouse. He was very comfortable. He made it work for him. Tucker Smith did the same thing. This is in his wheelhouse. He made the scope go to work. He found a good quality pile of fish there towards the end of the day, and that's what he said. He's going to make it happen at the end of the day, and he did exactly that. He just missed the kicker bite all week, and that's all he was missing. Any of the day that he catches a kicker, he's right there.
The boy from Birmingham has called Logan Martin one of his home lakes. The whole Coosa River is something he's familiar with, and Tucker Smith, oh so consistent over this entire tournament, 15 pounds plus each of the first 2 days, and he really needed a big bag today to be able to make up the weight because Josh did not slip at all. Even though during the day there were some hours of lulls for Josh, he ended up getting to the weight that pushed those spotted bass guys to have basically the biggest bag of the tournament on all spotted bass. But Tucker Smith, we know what he's capable of from the high school ranks to the college ranks. And now on the Bassmaster Opens, he is right in the mix for qualifying for the Elite Series, just outside of qualification currently. And a guy who's already made the Elite Series and shined, breaking the Century Club on largemouth, breaking it on smallmouth as well, winning 2 Elite Series events already. Kiyoya Fujita, boy, Kyle, Jesse, if he had a day 1 like he has had day 2 and day 3, he would be right there neck and neck with Josh Butler.
There's no question. Obviously, the final 2 days of this event, he really charged towards winning this event. And you know, we were sitting there talking about it early on in the day. He was catching a lot of the same size fish. Didn't really feel like he was going to catch a lot of those 3+ pounders, but he sure ended up doing that. Obviously ended up catching the biggest spotted bass that he's ever caught. That's saying a lot for somebody that is so effective at using his electronics to fish offshore like Kiyoya is, and that really propelled him to jump up the leaderboard on the final day.
Buddy, you noticed a lot of the ways that a lot of these guys use their electronics, but Kiyoya is a different animal when it comes to this. He's got some subtleties, and you were noticing that.
Yeah, Kiyoya, he seems to be so comfortable doing it. He makes it look easy, and he's very well blessed with that.
And our champion, Josh Butler, added a little bit of a shad spawn game plan, some bonus fish. One of those fish probably in his final day limit. Culled out the rest of his bites, but really, Kyle, it's got him to settle down a little bit. He went to his area, waited on the current, which was way later in the day than it normally had been, but having that early morning limit, even though he culled out some of them, it gave him some peace of mind for sure.
You said it during the live show. I mean, had he not had those shad spawn fish early in the morning, who knows what his mindset would have been later in the day or the middle part of the day when he really had a lull. You could tell, you know, he was a little off, kind of a little frustrated, almost seemed like. So that shad spawn early in the morning really, you know, allowed him to settle down and fish and, you know, stay up the river, stay calm, and then know that eventually it's going to happen for him.
For Josh Butler, we always talk about controlling the controllables. Well, for most of the day, he could not control the current schedule, but what he did was make the most of it, and Josh Butler is your latest Opens champion. He has punched his ticket to a dream come true, the Bassmaster Classic at Ray Roberts in Fort Worth, Texas for 2025. 4th Open of the year, 4th local angler to win on a body of water that means so much to them. Kudos to Josh Butler and the rest of our field. What a special 4th event it was. And he is your champion. He is now also in the top 9 of the Tackle Warehouse EQ points race, hoping for an Elite Series berth.